interception. Josh Allen dropped into coverage and intercepted it at the 30-yard line of the Buffalo Bills.
This is the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick and Mike Dempsey will guide you through the next 2 hours with insight and analysis of your Jacksonville Jaguars. The Publix Tailgate Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, and by TIAA Bank. Let's get the tailgating started. Here are Mike Dempsey and JP Shadrick.
After a tough division loss on the road last week, the Jags return home to begin back-to-back weeks of football at the bank. And today, the playoff hopeful San Francisco 49ers at 4-5 visit the 2-7 Jacksonville Jaguars. Kickoff coming up at 1 o'clock at TIAA Bank Field. Welcome into the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Deep inside the bank, ready for some football today. A long road trip for the Niners, 3 time zones, early body clock game, short week. All that's lining up pretty well. Can the Jags take advantage?
Stack up the advantages we've got, JP. Elijah Mitchell, their featured tailback, is doubtful to play today. So, they'll have to go a little bit deeper into the pile. JaMychal Hasty also not playing today out of that running back room. So likely get Jeffrey Wilson. The rookie Trey Sermon has done nothing to this point. So, yeah, everything points to a Jaguar victory. Am I right?
We've heard this before, though. This has happened a time or two.
Well, we decided to focus on the positives there right out of the gate.
I like that.
Yeah, why not?
See if they can take advantage. Obviously, Jaguars offense trying to get a jump start here. They've had some issues getting open down the field. The running game's off and on with the injury to James Robinson. Trevor Lawrence's numbers are down. They've got to figure out how to score.
Well, they do, but you can look at this in one of two ways. You can be glasses half full and say they've won 2 out of 4. They were in position, despite falling behind 17-0, to get that win on the road in the fourth quarter last week. Weren't able to pull through. Defense is playing much improved football. Then you can look on the offensive side and go, wow, have they won 2 of the last 4 and all these other things I just said, because the offense is really, really struggling. It's not just one thing. It's Trevor Lawrence. It's his receivers. At times it's the protection. At times it's the scheme not creating openings for some of these guys in the passing game. It's all of these things, but unfortunately it's been too many of them leading to inept offensive performances the last few weeks.
Game day weather is presented by roofclaim.com. Protection made simple. Currently 64 degrees, a high today of 73, and the sun should come out all the way about 1 o'clock at kickoff time when toe meets leather today. It is a light breeze, about 10 miles per hour out of the north at the moment, but it should be a really nice day for football here at TIAA Bank Field. And let's get to today's top stories, starting with the Jags and the 49ers. Of course, the Jags offense trying to get jump-started and get back on track, but trying to find something in the wide receiver room. Head coach Urban Meyer Wednesday.
So we're just kind of trying to find the right mix out there. The DJ Chark obviously was something we counted on with his speed and size, and then we, continue to search. And, Marvin Jones has been pretty consistent. Laviska, we've been moving inside and outside, and I think we're going to settle him down at one position. Agnew was a guy that we really didn't count on. He turned out to provide a spark for us. He's fast, he's tough, takes care of the ball. That's one of the areas that we're trying to figure out.
Offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell has the challenge of getting Laviska Shenault back into it.
We're doing things to put him in the position to get the ball. We're going to even make more adjustments with that and just continue to hunt ways to get it to him. It's sometimes the defense has stuff to say about it, like when you're just sending them down the field, so you can see some of the other things that we've tried to do with it, and we'll keep working in that area.
Well, we'll see what they have in mind today with Shenault. We'll hear from Jamal Agnew coming up. He ran for a touchdown last week. They just haven't really found a formula there.
No, and you heard Urban Meyer say this is a guy in Jamal Agnew that they really didn't count on. Imagine if he didn't emerge where they would be right now. Now, granted, he didn't catch a pass last week, but it's his presence on the field that can open things up a little bit with his speed. We saw that coming out of the backfield last week with the 66-yard touchdown run. He's gotten open. He needs to do a better job hanging on to the football at this point, JP. I know it's a great story that he's a converted defensive back, but at this point we need him to be that full-time receiver. And when Trevor Lawrence delivers the ball and it gets him in the hands, he needs to bring that in. The Jags have had 18 drops this year when the receivers have had both hands on the football, and that is unacceptable.
Indeed it is. Jamal Agnew ran for a touchdown last week as a running back, took a handoff around the left end and went 66 yards for a score, and discussed how the play developed.
To be honest, the other guys The other 10 guys made it easy for me. I mean, starting with Trev, he set the edge on. We gave him a big task, and it was block 53, the best player on defense, and he manhandled him. And you can see after the play, 53 got mad and shoved him a little bit. But, from Cam and Shatley pulling, I really just took the ball and just, seen it open up, and I just ran. I just did what I do when I run. So, to be honest, they made it easy for me.
Yeah, good blocking up front, followed that the pulling offensive lineman and made a big play for this team. Now, the question today in the running game, James Robinson again, that heel issue, knee issue, is he going to be 100%? He admitted this week that last week he might not have been there, but and you could kind of tell in the game last week.
Yeah, I would say no, he's not going to be 100% because now he's listed with the knee that he didn't have going into last week. They are related. He's obviously compensating for the heel, but early reports this morning are that he will suit up to play. And, JP, he got better as the game went on last week. He was, I thought, clearly not himself in the first half. At halftime, had he not come back out, it wouldn't have shocked me last week, but he came out and played his best football in the second half, including the touchdown that gave the Jaguars a chance. So let's hope we can get James Robinson not only in there today, but that he can stay on the field and handle something close to 20 touches.
And now to the quarterback triggering all this. The numbers have been down the last few weeks. There are questions kind of circling about his confidence level. Everybody seems to say he's in pretty good shape, including Trevor Lawrence. And the question about his pocket presence was brought up this week, and he's had pretty good pocket presence so far this season. Can feel it, but he always says it's a work in progress.
I've always had a pretty good feel for the pocket and moving. I think the difference in college and now the NFL is, when you feel color or you feel someone getting off a block or whatever and you move. I've always been good at that. It's just not moving too much, though. The NFL, you can only move a yard or so, and then you're going to move into more trouble if you move further than that. So that's one thing, that just smaller movements. You watch someone like Tom Brady just can sit in the pocket and move 6 inches each direction and buy himself a couple extra seconds. That's something that him and Aaron Rodgers and all these guys that have been playing for a long time do a really good job of, and that's just through experience and playing and getting a feel for it and really trusting it. And I feel like I've gotten better, but there's always more work to do there.
Yeah, this is something that he, I think, is ahead of a lot of other rookie quarterbacks that come into the NFL with, is that feel in the pocket and feeling pressure and seeing, as he said, the color flash go by. That's a good start for him.
Oh, sure. Look, he's got great raw material, right? And part of that is his pocket presence, his demeanor, his command, which is accelerated for what you see out of most rookie quarterbacks. But at the same time, he's missed some easy things in recent weeks as well. So, again, this is not all on Trevor Lawrence, but I think Trevor Lawrence would tell you himself he has not played up to his own standards, JP. This team can't be wallowing down in the 100-and-something passing yards and expect to be competitive week to week in the National Football League. That's putting way too much pressure on your defense. So let's hope, whether it's today or very soon, that passing game starts to click. Trevor Lawrence uses that pocket presence to great effect, but that when he does have time, he delivers an accurate ball.
Speaking of that defense, it's been a pretty good couple weeks for this group. It's a challenge this week, though, against a 49ers offense that is physical, and they have some weapons. They can hit you with the skill players outside, and wide receiver Debo Samuel is second in the league in receiving yards, and he's near the top in yards after catch. Joe Cullen, the defensive coordinator, says it reminds him of some in the past.
Back when I was here before, Coach Meyer had, Percy. They were doing it in Minnesota, so he'd be out there in zebra. Next thing you know, he's the tailback. It looks like empty. He comes back in the backfield. They throw tosses, crack flips, so you're in pass defense, and now they're running the ball, and they're doing the same thing. So, and we do some of that. You look at what we've done with our guys. It's difficult, but you just got to be ready for it, have your antennas up, and be able to play the kind of the look that you get.
You got Debo Samuel, you got George Kittle, who's healthy now and playing at a high level. Garoppolo is triggering those two guys, and then last week, at least on Monday night, they had the run game going and really set the tone early.
The word you use to describe their offense, physical, is the number one thing. They showed up with the intention of beating up the LA Rams at the line of scrimmage on both sides, and they did exactly that. So they're going to challenge your manhood today out there. Debo Samuel is one of the most physical receivers in the NFL. with the exception of about a tenth of a difference in Debo's favor in the 40-yard dash time, he and Laviska Shenault are very similar players. And they utilize Debo the way I think a lot of people would like to see Shenault utilized around here, in that they create matchups, right? Sometimes, as you heard Joe Cullen say, they'll put him in the backfield, run him as a straight tailback. Other times they're doing that just to get the preferred matchup in coverage, and then he'll come out of the backfield and run a pattern. They use him in a lot of creative ways. He's having a fantastic season, nearing 1,000 yards already, so that tells you a lot.
And the defense, as we've said, has put together 2 solid performances in a row. And defensive tackle Malcolm Brown, a veteran of 7 NFL seasons, said this week the trust continues to build.
We just continue to grow each week. Continue to get better with each other, continue to grow trust in each other. Work well as a defense, communication, all that stuff is starting to pick up. And like I said, we all just come in every day trying to get better for each other, trying to get better for yourself, wherever it may be.
Those are some of today's top stories, and today's game is presented by Renewal by Anderson, official replacement window and door partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A better way to a better window. For more information, visit online at rbafla.com. Time for our weekly segment from Emmanuel Thalleran, known as E.T., where we hear directly from you, the Jags fans. This is Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody.
Good morning, Jacksonville, and welcome to the Week 11 edition of Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody. Now look, I ain't gonna sit here and cap and act like it's been all peachy and creamy, because it hasn't been. And no need to go into detail on why. If you know, you know. But one thing about it and 2 things for certain, your boy is Duval till I die. And I mean that to my core. And I ain't the only one like that. So that being said, we gonna keep that same beep, beep energy. San Fran, y'all boys on deck. Duval, stand up. Come on, somebody.
E.T. Hoove, baby, here.
What's really good, Hoove, baby?
You know what 4 and 9 add up to be?
10, 11, 12. 13.
Bad luck for San Francisco.
Okay, Hoove. I see what you did there.
Tell them to go home and dig for gold. Duval.
E.T., I hope you're rocking, buddy.
Man, Cam, you already know how I rock, baby. What's good?
Let's get ready to run.
Who want to hit a W? Come on, somebody.
Come on, somebody. Come on, everybody.
Hey, we going to keep working on that, my boy. Hey, buddy, you get an A for effort, but don't even trip, because like Allstate, baby, you in good hands. Come on, somebody.
2 years ago, we drafted a quarterback from Washington State, Gardner Minshew.
Hold on. Did you just put Gardner Minshew with Trevor in the same? You know what? Go ahead, bro. I'm going to let you finish.
Who looked a hell of a lot better than our once-in-a-lifetime generation quarterback. 23 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Put some respect on that man's name.
And then he going to use my line. Anybody want to handle this for me, please?
Get off Trevor's back, man. The kid's a rookie. I'm not worried about this team. We're going to get it together.
Say it again for the folks in the back that didn't hear you, my dog.
This team was 1-15 last year. Don't forget that.
Oh, I ain't forget.
And we've got a defensive back playing wide receiver.
Oh, you talk about my big homie Swag New.
So we just get off his back. Give him some time, man.
Anybody else want to handle that before I do?
Look, I'm pissed off today too at the Jags, but look, they're 1-15 last year. Trevor's gonna be a star in this league. And for all you talk about bench Trevor, y'all are crazy as hell.
I got room for one more before I sick the dogs on him.
Man, y'all get off with T-Law.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Holiday has stepped into the chat.
Because that's the saber-tooth tiger himself, May Hill. He gonna be turned into a prehistoric terror wrecker super kid.
I don't think they heard you, Holiday. What he gonna do?
He gonna be turned into a prehistoric terror wrecker super cat.
A prehistoric terror wrecker super cat. You hear me? Come on, somebody.
San Francisco has not played a game in Jacksonville in 16 years. They have not been here since 2005.
So what do we need to do to welcome them back to Duval County?
3 keys of victory. We need point. Now, we got to get them special teams, go for it on 4th and 30, Hail Mary, 75-yard field goal. I mean, we need points.
Well, Jacksonville, there you have it. What I've gotten out of this is get off of Trevor's back, Next year,
he's going to be turned into a prehistoric Terra Wrecker super kit.
and we need points. So if you excuse me, I'm going to get my tail watered and do what I do. Prepare for this game and hopefully get this done. Come on, somebody. And last but not least, shout out to my homie, Scott Kushner. You taught me a lot, big dog, and I appreciate that. Rest easy, my G.
That is Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody. A classic today from Emmanuel Thaler and E.T. bringing it again. Saber-toothed tiger.
Prehistoric Terror Wrecker Super Cat is
Yeah.
what the saber-toothed tiger is going to turn into. That's our man Holiday, who's our new favorite caller on Jaguars Today.
We'll take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If that's whatever that turns out to be in wins and losses, we'll take it. If that's
we could use one of those things
yeah,
around here.
You know,
Couple of those,
Add it
actually.
to the list.
Why not?
By the way. There you have it. Get your thoughts in each week on ET's call-in line, 904-207-7071. And we're just getting started on the Publix Tailgate Show ahead of Week 11 coming up at 10:37 today.
You got to live in the now. Only thing you can worry about is what they ask you to do. And it's hard sometimes because if you don't get reps, it's like, how can I show them what I can do? You got to make the best with everything they give you.
That's Jaguars running backs coach Bernie Parmalee. But up next, we'll hear from the voice of the San Francisco 49ers, Greg Papa. The Niners and the Jags coming up at 1 o'clock. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Shopping Publix with delivery and curbside pickup powered by Instacart makes getting your groceries more convenient than ever. It's basically the best thing since sliced bread, which you can order from the Publix bakery. You can also get fresh meats and cheeses from the deli, delicious produce, and Publix premium ice cream, all without having to leave your couch or car. Orders are available in as little as 2 hours. Prices vary from in-store. Fees, tips, and taxes may apply. Subject to terms and availability. Visit Publix.com/shop. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
It's not kickoff without the small places that make Jaguars game day big. That's why Crown Royal is turning game day into giving day by supporting communities that serve us off the field. Nominate a local community hero to win the ultimate Jaguars game day experience at jaguars.com/Crown Royal promotion. Because Crown Royal believes if you live generously, life will treat you royally. Visit crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Nothing kicks off your game better than a handful of Georgia peanuts. Power-packed with protein, essential nutrients, and great taste, Georgia peanuts are the MVP for affordability, sustainability, and nutrition. To score life's touchdowns with recipes and fun facts, check out GAPeanuts.com. The perfectly powerful peanut is brought to you by the family farmers of the Georgia Peanut Commission.
Peanuts! Get your peanuts!
So we had a problem with our office IT systems a few months back. And of course, I don't want the boss getting upset about it, since she still hasn't forgiven me for last month's wardrobe malfunction. So I did the smart thing and called Sassine's Office Systems. They've provided top-notch IT solutions and services since 1981, including Ricoh copiers, printers, and mailing solutions. They even handle wide-format printers and electronic document storage, which is important since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for the birthday cake incident. Best of all, Sassine's Office Systems has flexible support programs, certified field techs, and fast, friendly service for one flat monthly fee. And saving money is always a good thing, especially since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for my parachute pants presentation. I was actually wearing parachute pants.
Trust Sassine's Office Systems to handle your IT equipment and office systems, including Ricoh connected copiers and printers. Learn more at Sassines.com. That's SISSINES.com.
Jaguars Game Day is presented by ViStar Credit Union. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Publix Tailgate Show continues. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. The Jags host the San Francisco 49ers in Week 11. The last meeting between these teams, Christmas Eve 2017. The 49ers pulled away in a 44-33 win over the Jags in Santa Clara after the Jags had clinched the division going in. The first of two straight losses for the Jaguars at the end of the regular season. Boy, 33 points would be nice today. I'll say that.
Take that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, anything over 23 would be a season high, so yeah.
Yes, 24 would be nice.
That'd be okay.
The inaugural Jacksonville Barbecue Festival is bringing the best barbecue in the nation of Florida December 10th through 12th at TIAA Bank Field. Award-winning brisket, ribs, burn-ins, and more. Enter for free and pay as you go, or go hog wild with a VIP pit pass. And that'll give you 2.5 hours of all you can eat and drink. Visit bbqfestjacks.com. I know you like to go hog wild.
I like the burn ends, so yes, I do.
It sounds like a plan to me. Jaguars facing the 49ers, of course. Greg Papa is now the voice of the San Francisco 49ers forever, seemingly. He was the voice of the Oakland Raiders. He's also been the TV voice of the Oakland Athletics, the San Francisco Giants, the Golden State Warriors. He is Bay Area through and through, and we got his insight to the San Francisco 49ers after Monday night's win.
There's a feeling, at least outside, maybe this team could stay in the hunt. Is that the feeling inside the organization right now?
Without question. I mean, even after they had lost 5 out of 6 and were 0-4 at home, the one-loss record was 3-5. And if this was a different set of playoff requirements, then maybe not as much. But last year with the pandemic, we went to 7 teams in each conference, and there clearly is an avenue. They're a half game out of a playoff spot right now. Carolina at 5-5 is right there. And we'll see how this game goes Sunday. And your team is obviously solid, and no one's overlooking the Jags. But if the 49ers happen to win this game and get to 5-5, John Madden used to always say playoff spots are acquired and accrued after Thanksgiving. So we'll come out of Thanksgiving with a home game against the Minnesota Vikings, who are right there as well. And it's on. So, yeah, I think that they've had some good moments. They've had some bad moments. I think what Monday night's game showed in other games, the Detroit game, the first game of the year, they were up on them 41-17, wound up letting them back into the game. The Green Bay game on Sunday Night Football, they were down 17-0, came back to take a lead with 37 seconds to go, and then Aaron Rodgers pulled one out of his hat. Seattle, we were controlling that game until Jimmy got hurt at halftime, and some special teams there wound up losing that game. But JP, they're a capable team. There's no question they are capable of being the team that a lot of people, including myself, thought they would be at the beginning of the year. But they've been wildly inconsistent.
Greg Papa with us, voice of the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, of course, triggers this whole offense. He's got the playmakers around him. But the last 3 weeks, he's protected the football. 1 turnover in that time, a rating of over 110 or so. But there's that kind of that feeling. Trey Lance has been drafted. What is the lay of the land and the relationship in that quarterback room right now?
Oh, it's good. Jimmy's a great individual, just the salt of the earth. Mom and dad are great people, his brothers. He's just Chicagoland through and through. He's a great person. I'm sure he was irked a little bit or a lot of it when they traded up to get the 3rd overall pick and made no bones about it. They were going to take one of those young quarterbacks, and they wound up taking Trey. And Trey's a delightful guy. So it's a competition between the two of them, but at the same time, they're teammates. And they pull the same rope in the same direction. Jimmy's playing great. The last 3 games, starting with him going back home to Chicago to play the Bears. They lost the Arizona game in between. He still played well. And then this last game, he was on point. So it really is 3 in a row, as you mentioned. The one interception late in the Arizona game he threw to Budda Baker was kind of a desperate situation. He was just trying to force that ball in there. So Jimmy is just on point right now. I think a lot of it, JP, has been them really going to the shotgun formation with him, where he played in college at Eastern Illinois. He's comfortable facing the field and not turning his back in play action. It also allows him to make quick decisions out of the mesh point play action and then find open receivers. So I think he's comfortable that way. They found a good a good balance of under center and shotgun. He's playing great. I'm not going to say he's playing the best football he's played as a 49er because he played pretty damn well in 2019 all the way to the Super Bowl. But I think he's back playing to his capabilities. And he also had a little bit of an injury, he had a calf injury early in the year, the Seattle game, which cost him the next week, the second half of that game, and the entire game, October the 10th in Arizona. So I think he's over that. And they have a good offensive rhythm going right now. So this is clearly Jimmy's team. There may be a moment when Trey jumps into the game on Sunday in Jacksonville and they run what they call bison personnel, which is him as a shotgun, kind of a wildcat, quarterback. But beyond that, this is Jimmy Garoppolo's team. Now, we'll see where it goes beyond this. But right now, this is clearly Jimmy Garoppolo's team, and he's flourishing. He's playing well.
Greg Papa with us, voice of the 49ers. Let's touch on the defense. Not taking the ball away a lot this year. Nick Bosa up front, Armstead up front. Those are the big horses. Fred Warner's got a huge contract at linebacker and really leads the way there. It's a mix of guys back there in the secondary. It feels like Norman's been around forever. He's still forcing fumbles, but he's getting up there in age. Jimmy Ward had a couple of picks on Monday night. What is this defense all about, Greg?
Well, they got to find their identity. They've not been very good. Some statistical categories they rank out better than others, but been the games. I mean, before the Ram game they locked in and they played as well as they played going back to the Super Bowl run in 19. But the game before against Arizona, they just got manhandled. They had 10 missed tackles in that game, and a lot of them were corners on the edges, missing tackles. They did not tackle well in Chicago. They won that game, and they played better in the second half. But they had a hard time early in the game with Justin Fields. And so they're still searching. Nick Bosa is a game wrecker, there's no doubt. But they do miss that other edge rusher. D Ford has just gone back on IR. He's not able to stay healthy with a persistent back problem, really dating back to middle of the 2019 year. I thought if he was healthy, JP, at the end of that year, they could have won the Super Bowl, but he never quite got back to that, and that game slipped away from them. So Eric Armstead's a force. He's playing more inside, playing more 3 technique with the injury to Javon Kinlaw, the young guy, and Mo Hurst, the former Raiders, been out. So they've moved Eric inside. So they've got a couple of guys that can dominate the game. Fred played by far his best game of the year, Fred Warner. He's not had a good year, though. He's not been tackling the same, not been covering the same, just has not been the same player. But he came alive on Monday Night Football. He needs to follow it up in this game. They've had some injuries in the secondary. Losing Jason Verrett in the season opener with ACL has left them a little vulnerable. Josh Norman's playing okay, not great. Teams do attack him at times. He's committed a lot of penalties. Finally, on Monday night, they played up to the capabilities, but most of the year they've been very inconsistent.
Greg Papa, voice of the San Francisco 49ers, a team that feels like they're in it. They're only a game out of the wild card right now with a lot of football coming up, Thanksgiving next week, and then things get hot and heavy, of course, in late November and December. It's a team that, as we mentioned earlier, physical, certainly on offense. They've got guys on defense that can go make plays for you. And, if they get some bounces the right way, they can be in this thing.
Well, they are in this thing, right? I mean, with 7 teams that make the playoffs and to be in the position that they're in, the curious thing would have been had they lost to the Rams and fell to 3-6, would that have started to turn their attention towards Trey Lance in the second half of the season? But for now, he's an afterthought. The record has always been really good with Jimmy Garoppolo as the starting quarterback. The problem is him staying healthy enough to stay in as a starting quarterback, which is why Kyle Shanahan's only had a winning record in one of the last 4 seasons as the head coach in San Francisco. He's had a lot of injury concerns. It's not an excuse. It's the way it goes in the NFL, but right now they're playing good football.
Well, the Jaguars today are trying to get back on track after a loss in Indianapolis last week. Jags had the football in their hand with just over 2 minutes to go, a couple of timeouts, 2-minute warning, but a turnover ended that game, and the comeback bid was stopped short. But overall, the defense the last couple of weeks has led the way, of course, shutting down the Buffalo Bills 2 weeks ago. Doing a pretty good job against Indy last week. They gave up a special teams touchdown, a block punt return. and that was part of a 17-0 early wave to get the Jaguars in a hole. Today, trying to get started a little bit better against the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, you better start better than you started last week, right? You better start better. Because you gave up 93 yards on the ground to Jonathan Taylor in the first quarter. And talking with Jeff Lageman this week, it was one or two, missed assignments on those plays, the big plays for Taylor that led to that. But still, regardless, doesn't matter. It ends up in the box scores, 93 yards in the first quarter, 11 carries for 23 yards in the last three quarters. That's the kind of defense they need to play from the start today.
Today's game is presented by Renewal by Anderson, official replacement window and door partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A better way to a better window. For more information, visit online at rbafla.com. Coming up at 10:48 today.
We have continued to grow every week, and we continue to get better. And then we continue to grow trust in each other and stuff like that. So that's things that a team needs to do. And I think that we've been hitting all those points all year until this point. And it's still a season now. It's still getting better.
That's veteran defensive tackle Malcolm Brown about the Jaguars defense. But up next, Brian Sexton sits down with Jaguars running backs coach Bernie Parmalee. The 49ers and the Jaguars tee it up at 1 o'clock today. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by FDOT.
Introducing Ultimate Jags, the free-to-play next-level fantasy football game. Open packs, collect players, build your roster, and pick your weekly lineup. Scratch and claw your way up the leaderboard and compete against Jags fans for fantastic prizes. Download Ultimate Jags now from the App Store and Google Play and get ready to win.
It's a force that can't be contained, propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect. When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it. You make power plays. You pick your team. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7. Jacksonville.
You say there's nothing quite like the feel of the open road when you ride a motorcycle. You know it takes concentration, knowledge, and skills beyond those required to drive a car. Ride Smart Florida would like to take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy the road, but to always ride smart. S-M-A-R-T. Say no to drinking and riding. Make yourself more visible to motorists. Always wear your helmet. Ride in control. Train regularly and get endorsed. Visit RideSmartFlorida.com for more details. Do you ride smart? This message is provided by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been a leader in direct mail for over a decade. Using the latest technology, Kessler Creative can now reach your ideal audience even more effectively. Choose between a collection of response channels from email and SMS, texting to land pages designed to engage and initiate responses with potential customers. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hiring qualified veterans and helping veterans grow their businesses isn't just the right thing to do, it's also good business. Fiserv Salute provides the military community with career opportunities, education resources, and business solutions for veteran-owned businesses, including free processing on Independence and Veterans holidays. To find out how Fiserv helps veteran-owned businesses and their career opportunities, visit Fiserv.com and follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Fiserv, an official military partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Publix Tailgate Show continues. JP Shadrick along with Mike Dempsey at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville for the 49ers and the Jaguars in Week 11. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff time, and 49ers wide receiver Devo Samuel is second in 49ers history in average yards per game in a season, at least at the moment. There's a lot of football left. He's just under 109 yards per game. That trails only Jerry Rice's 1995 total of 115.5 yards a game. If Samuel has some breakout performances, maybe he could overtake that as he goes. He's second in the league in receiving yards and among the best in the league in yards after catch. Let's go around the National Football League.
All right, JP, with the 2-7 Jacksonville Jaguars getting set to host the 4-5 San Francisco 49ers. We'll start taking a look at the rest of the AFC South. The division-leading Titans put their 8-2 mark on the line when they host the 1-8 Texans in Nashville today. Tennessee has beaten 5 straight playoff teams from last season. That is something only one other team in league history has accomplished. Meanwhile, after an opening week win against the Jags, Houston has dropped 8 straight. The Colts are in second place in the AFC South with a record of 5-5. They travel to Buffalo today to take on the 8-2 Bills. Indianapolis running back Jonathan Taylor has run for over 100 yards in 5 of the Colts' last 7 games. That includes 116 last week against Jacksonville. Taylor's 937 yards rushing ties him for the league lead with the injured Titans running back Derrick Henry. Elsewhere, Arizona quarterback Kyler Murray's status will come down to a game-time decision for the 3rd straight week, but the early reporting indicates he'll likely miss the Cardinals game against the Seahawks. The Cardinals do have a bye next week to give him an opportunity to get some extra rest. Colt McCoy would likely start for Arizona if Murray can't go, but he too is listed as questionable. That leaves 3rd-string quarterback Chris Streveler on standby. Baltimore quarterback Lamar Jackson questionable to start against Chicago today due to a non-COVID-related illness. Jackson has been in negotiations for months with the Ravens on a new contract. Reports are that the sides are not yet close on a deal. The 24-year-old Jackson is seen as one of the leading contenders for league MVP this year, having already taken home that honor in 2019. And finally, Pittsburgh got quarterback Ben Roethlisberger back this week off the COVID-19 reserve list. He missed the game against Detroit last week that ended in a tie. Roethlisberger expected to start when the Steelers face the Chargers on Sunday Night Football.
There's our look around the NFL in Week 11. Check out the official Jags Podcast Network, free on Apple iTunes or Spotify. And now time to hear from Jaguars running backs coach Bernie Parmalee. It's his first year with the Jaguars, and he visited with Brian Sexton.
We're visiting now with Jaguars running backs coach Bernie Parmalee. And, Coach, before we get started, when you took this job and came to Jacksonville, what did you know about James Robinson, other than he, like you, was undrafted and making a name for himself?
Yeah, I know he was undrafted. I know he had a lot of talent. And then when I got here, I just looked at all of his reps and just see where he was, because I knew he put up some good numbers. But also I want to see what he was looking at, how he was gaining the yards, how we can get better. So I didn't know that he was young. It was his first year, and I knew that the ceiling was high for him.
Your story I recall from so many Dolphins games on television all back in the day, coming from the UPS truck to the NFL. Is it trite of me to ask you, do you have an affinity for those guys who come up the hard way?
Oh, yeah, I do, because I've been there. I've been in that spot where you weren't undrafted. You were undrafted. It seemed like you don't getting too many reps. You're not getting many reps, but at the same time, you got to stay focused. Obviously, he stayed focused because I know it was some backs in front of him. But at the same time, you got to live in the now. Only thing you can worry about is what they ask you to do. And it's hard sometimes because if you don't get reps, it's like, how can I show them what I can do? So you got to make the most with you got to make the best with everything they give you. So I think that's what he's done. Obviously, he's done a great job, and he's still got a lot of room for improvement.
How big is the challenge for a guy like that who's battling nagging injuries and not getting a lot of reps during the practice week to be able to step on the field and perhaps play on a Sunday afternoon? Or for a running back, is that not as big a deal as it might be for a quarterback or a cornerback?
No, it's a big deal because really it's physical. At game time, you don't get those physical reps. You don't get that opportunity to be on a safety. Like the last game, it was a couple of opportunities, and we were talking about it on the sideline where I knew he would have made that guy miss. But when you don't get those reps, you're a little rusty. But at the same time, you got to make sure you stay sharp mentally.
How difficult is it right now to be consistent in the running game when you see defenses squatting and putting 8 men in the box against you because the passing game isn't firing on all cylinders at this point?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard, but at the same time, I tell guys a 2-yard run, if that's all it gives you, that's what you get. And at some point, when the rubber hits the road, you're going to be one-on-one with somebody. Or if you break a tackle, then all of a sudden, now they got to play a little different. But at the same time, we know it's going to be difficult. We're gonna make sure we get the passing game going so we can play off each other.
You know, Coach, the average fan doesn't get the chance to go back and watch the tape like a coach does. So give people a sense of where this offense is. They remember the frustrations last week with the 3-and-outs in Indianapolis. Are you seeing the kind of progress that leads you to believe that over the next 8 games, this offense is going to get some footing, some traction?
Oh, it will. It's interesting, like you said, a lot of guys don't see it, but it's like little things sometimes. It could be the simplest detail that the average person don't see why a play is successful and not successful. So we know what we're doing. We know what we need to correct. We know what we need to do to get better. We will get better. No doubt about it, because we got the right people. We got the right scheme. We just got to make sure we do our job.
And finally, Coach, you've been around this league an awfully long time. Does it seem possible to you that this 17-game season is ever going to end? I mean, literally, we're almost at Thanksgiving, and we're still talking about 8 games to play. Hard to imagine one game, making the season feel that much longer, but it kind of does, doesn't it?
It does. It's interesting you say that because, you had a lot of people, we talk, about a long season, shortening the preseason and all those things. But you know what? It's the arena that we in. This is the job we decided to do. And if you are a player, guess what? The game is still going to go on. So only thing we can do is make sure we stay sharp mentally, take care of our bodies, and obviously try to stay healthy.
I can't let you go without one more question because I know you played with some great quarterbacks. Just give me a quick thought on the rookie quarterback and what you've seen from Trevor Lawrence in your time around him.
I'll tell you what, he's really smart. He understands the game. It's like anything else. Your first year, you're going to see a lot thrown at you. It's a process. I always remember Peyton Manning, his first year, how rough it was. And then the next year was a little better. So it is a process. You got to understand that. It's different. The NFL is different from college. But at the same time, he has all the tools. He has the mindset. The guys believe in him, and he's only going to get better.
That's Bernie Parmalee, himself back in the NFL, but a longtime assistant and a special teams coordinator in the league, and now in his first year with the Jacksonville Jaguars. James Robinson trying to get him back to 100%, and it's just felt different when James is A, not in there, and B, not 100%. It just has a different feel on offense here.
Yeah, it's probably hard to do too in season when you've got a heel bruise, like a bone bruise in your heel. How do you heal that? You stay off of it, right? And then they can't afford to have him stay off of it right now. They need James Robinson desperately. I know he wants to play as well, and indications are he will. So let's hope he's the second half James Robinson we saw last week as opposed to the first half.
If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll return in a moment on the Publix Tailgate Show with Jaguars defensive tackle Malcolm Brown and our Baptist Health visit with a player. Another hour of the Publix Tailgate Show starts at 11 o'clock. We'll get to the top headlines and much more ahead of the San Francisco 49ers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Jags fans, did you know you can ride your bike to every Jaguars home game at TIAA Bank Field and Valley Park it for free? That's right. Stop by our bicycle check-in tent sponsored by Alert Today Florida near Gate 1 at TIAA Bank Field. An on-duty ZenCog bike professional will park your bike and ensure it's secure during the game. When the game is over, return your claim ticket to pick up your bike. For cycling safety tips, visit alerttodayflorida.com. Remember, Alert Today, alive tomorrow, because safety doesn't happen by accident.
Everyone's so busy keeping up. Forget about the Joneses. We all on our telephones with the texts and the tweets and the beats. What he said, she said, can't even follow the thread. Down the hole, we all go. Me, I like keeping up too, with my Corona and my attitude. That's La Vida Más Fina.
Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission.
At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Enjoy fall savings going on right now at Renewal by Andersen. Save 20% on replacement windows, patio doors, and installation. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. Designed to withstand the harshest weather environments. Find out more at rbafla.com. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, the official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CGC 1527613.
Want to see the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans on the road? Here's your chance. Revente Cognac and the Jaguars are teaming up to send one lucky fan and a guest from Duval to Nashville for the big game. Enter now at jaguars.com/Revente Trip for your chance to win round-trip flights, lodging, and game tickets, courtesy of Revente Cognac. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or older to enter. Jaguars Game Day presented by ViStar Credit Union. The Publix Tailgate Show rolls along from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. The 49ers and the Jaguars coming up at 1 o'clock. The Jags, Mike, are trying to get on the scoreboard. They've scored fewer than 20 points in 6 games this season, tied for the second most games in the league. Only the Lions have done it more times, and the Jags are averaging just under 17 points per game. That's 31st in the National Football League.
That's bad any way you cut it, JP. And it's a shame because, they didn't waste the great defensive performance against the Bills, but when your defense allows 16 points, is what they did last week, the 7 came on special teams, you've got to win the vast majority of those games in the National Football League. They made it close. Close doesn't get you a W in the standings, though. They've got to find a way to put the ball in the end zone today.
Today's game is presented by Renewal by Andersen, official replacement window and door partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A better way to a better window. For more information, visit online at rbafla.com. Time now for our Baptist Health Visit with a Player. Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. This week, it's veteran defensive tackle Malcolm Brown. Defense playing pretty well the last couple weeks, Malcolm. How's the feeling in the meeting rooms?
Man, it's a good feeling. It's a bittersweet feeling because, like I said, we were losing these games and, we're playing good defense, but it's still not the end result that we want at the end of the day.
What is the personality of this Jaguars defense? Have you guys developed that? Is there a feeling of what you guys are defensively?
Man, we like to stop the run. We do a lot of things well. Lately we've been not giving up points, so bend but don't break. We take a lot of identities whenever the time needs to be.
Last week, it was some early gash plays, but then, it could have gotten out of hand. It kind of felt that way. But then it stopped. Consecutive 3-and-outs on 3 straight drives, slowed down the running game of Jonathan Taylor after his big first quarter. When a defense is kind of reeling like that early, how did you guys stop that and continue to play the rest of the day?
We just settled down. Guys got back to what they do every day in practice and the things they've been doing all year. Getting back to our defense. And we just been doing what we've been doing for these last couple second halves of the game and everything. So.
Joe Cullen, defensive coordinator, it's his first year calling plays in the NFL. He's been a D-line coach for a long, long time. What do you like about Cullen's scheme and him calling the plays as a coordinator?
As a run stopper, he come in as a defense line coach, and he's real big on stopping the run. So he comes in, he has a heavy front, and things that D-linemen like, some things to pull the front, double teams off you, things to create one-on-ones, things like that up front. So he comes in, he's a real aggressive type defense, things that you like, or things you want to be around, and things you want to play in.
There's a lot of new faces around this organization this year at the start of the season, right? I mean, you're one of those. A bunch of free agents came in, some draft equity spent on defense also. But at about this time of year, I mean, it feels like everybody's kind of meshed together. Has that taken some time to kind of get to know each other and the personality of the rooms and maybe where they are in the field? All that kind of comes together about midway through the season. Is that about right?
Definitely. I mean, I think being where I've been at and being in different places, you kind of learn at the beginning of the season, you're not where you want to be at the end of the season, but you still want to be growing as a team. And as I sit back and look at our team week to week, and where we at in the season, we have continued to grow every week, and we continue to get better, and then we continue to grow trust in each other and stuff like that. So that's things that a team needs to do, and I think that we've been hitting all those points all year until this point, and it's still a season now. It's still getting better. So.
All right, you're in year number 7, right, Malcolm? You've been at this thing for a long time. How's your body feeling? I mean, you've been around the league for a long time. It's week 11. How do you maintain yourself week to week here?
Man, I just, I spend a lot of time doing recovery after practice and things like that. And, after we get done doing some recovery, body feels great. To be this far, like you said, year 7, be this part of the year as opposed to different years. It's this part of the year. I feel great. I feel like I could go out there and play another game tomorrow if I had to, for real.
I like that. The little short weeks, right? That wasn't a bad little run for the Jags on a short week, actually. All right, 8 games left. What else can this defense accomplish? What's left? I mean, obviously, you want to win some football games down the stretch. That's number one. But defensively, is there anything else out there you guys want to get done as a group?
Definitely, man. We still want to create more turnovers. We would definitely want to score on defense, and the defense want to score on defense. We just want to, shut teams out. Be that reliable defense that once you step in here, you know what it's going to be. We could shut you out any day of the week or whatever. So I think we're going towards that, and we just continue to work and continue to get better at the things that we need to work on. We'll get there.
All right, Malcolm. This week, the San Francisco 49ers come to town. I don't know if you watched Monday Night Football or not on Monday night. Did you?
I did.
You did? Okay.
Yep.
So you did a little advanced scouting, live scouting on the 49ers. Their offense ran the daylights out of it. They had like an 18-play drive to open the game. What do you make of their skill guys, especially in the running game, and how they operate that offense?
They have an aggressive mindset. You can see about it. The skill guys, they run aggressive. Their O-line tries to be aggressive, and they try to run the ball aggressively. So, they try to do that to the Rams, and you can obviously see it on film by them running the ball 40 sometimes and this and that. So.
Yeah, strength on strength this week. Let's get the Jaguars defense on top. Good luck to you this week, and we appreciate the time, Malcolm.
Thank you, no problem.
Malcolm Brown, been in the league for a while, has a winning pedigree, a couple winning teams in New England he was on. He was in New Orleans, of course, when the Jaguars traded for him, and they, at least so far, have been able to, for the most part, slow down the running game of these other teams. Only a couple backs have gone over 100 against him. Henry early, Taylor last week, but it was a struggle for Taylor to get over that 100 mark. And that was priority number one in the offseason, was to stop the run this year.
Well, they've been among the league leaders defensively in average yards per carry allowed by running backs in the National Football League, despite the 5.9 that they gave up to Jonathan Taylor last week. And again, that was predicated on a big first quarter with a couple of big plays. But I think Malcolm Brown's been the most consistent part of that run defense most weeks, week in, week out. He made some splash plays last week a little bit. It's tough to get noticed, though, when you're a defensive tackle, particularly playing nose in a 3-4, JP. You're not going to pile up statistics very often. Your job is to occupy multiple blockers, and he's very good at doing that.
That's our Baptist Health visit with a player. Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. And now it's time for our weekly commentary from Jaguar sideline reporter Rick Ballou. We call it, Has Rick Lost It?
San Francisco comes to Jacksonville for a third time. They've never won here in Duval, but they have some momentum. That's because last Monday night they pounded their rival, the Los Angeles Rams, for a 5th consecutive time. And a bizarre game and a bizarre week in which 5 times a team that was either the bottom feeder or had a losing record knocked off a divisional leader. 49ers did it by running the football 44 times in their victory Monday night. Don't expect that to be the case today. Elijah Mitchell does have a broken finger. Therefore, the pressure goes on Jimmy Garoppolo, who, believe it or not, you look at the last 3 weeks, he has the best quarterback passer rating of anyone in the National Football League. For the Jaguars, it's all about the offense. What is going on? 33 points in the last 3 games. Is today finally the opportunity for James Robinson to get 20 or more carries? Let's hope so. San Francisco, not good against the run. They're 23rd in the NFL. They give up nearly 123 yards a game. Will it be a bounce-back day for Trevor Lawrence? Accuracy has been an issue. He missed Laviska Shenault last week on a wheel route in Indianapolis. He also needs some help. Will Darrell Bevell scheme up an offense where wide receivers get open? The Jags had 6 offensive penalties last Sunday, 5 drops. All the intangibles in this one favor the Jaguars. San Francisco, emotional win. The long trip, a short victory to get ready for a game which will actually be at 10 a.m. their time. Will the Jaguars capitalize on this opportunity? JP?
All right, Rick, thank you very much. That's Rick Ballou, sideline reporter for the Jaguars Radio Network. Jags and the 49ers coming up. We've mentioned Devo Samuel today. We mentioned Garoppolo in the running game. George Kittle is back and healthy now, and since he's returned, he's put together some fantastic statistics for this team, and he can do it both ways. He can run block for you. He can pass block. He can go out, and he's dynamic down the middle of the field.
Well, he's one of the greatest run-after-the-catch tight ends in league history. In fact, he set the record for yards after the catch by a tight end in his second year in the league when he had over 1,300 receiving yards. He's never been a big touchdown guy, 5 being the most he's ever had in a season, but he has scored in each of the last 2 weeks, so maybe that's changing here a little bit. And with Brandon Ayuk taking more of a backseat in the passing game this year for the 49ers, it's basically Debo and Kittle right now to balance out what is not always a strong running game, but a running game that they're dedicated to.
PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jaguars, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. Coming up, it's the second hour of the Publix Tailgate Show. We'll have the top stories of the week. We'll hear from NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks with his thoughts headed into Week 11. And we'll go up to the broadcast booth for First Rounds on Us with Tony Baselli and Jeff Lageman. The Niners and the Jaguars coming up at 1 o'clock. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio. Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
As J-Tech continues to train tomorrow's technicians right here in Jacksonville and supply them throughout the Southeast, they wanted everyone to know that they are the biggest Jaguars fans around. J-Tech is super excited about this season. They are equally excited about the $6.8 million improvement of their facility and the program growth in auto, diesel, HVAC, marine, and RV programs. Come check them out on the south side of Jacksonville or visit online at jtech.org.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massagenvy.com for more details.
Ready to take the next step toward the ultimate you. Dr. Patrick Basil, official plastic surgeon of the Jacksonville Jaguars, presents the Ultimate You Sweepstakes. Enter for a chance to win a cool sculpting treatment package valued at $4,500, plus a Jaguars performance training session. Receive your free customized treatment in a relaxed, modern, patient-centered environment. Learn more and enter the sweepstakes at jaguars.com/ultimateyou or call 904-222-6262. Terms and conditions apply. No purchase necessary.
The Publix Tailgate Show continues right now.
Yes, it does. Hour 2 of the Publix Tailgate Show. In fact, Jaguars Game Day presented by VyStar Credit Union. The San Francisco 49ers at 4-5 and the Jacksonville Jaguars at 2-7. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Back-to-back home games. The defense has been playing pretty well the last couple weeks. You know, the offense had the ball in their hands late last week, and Indy couldn't finish the job. They got a couple of wins in the last month or so, you know, trying to get over the top. A little home cooking today and next week before a couple of real tough road trips down the stretch here.
Well, look, I think a lot of Jaguar fans talking to him this week think that Jags have a really good chance today. You know, they're optimistic, and they went on the road against a team of similar caliber to the 49ers, I think, in the Indianapolis Colts. In fact, very good number of similarities in the way they like to play football, good defense, running game, things like that. And you know, after the first quarter, they matched up very well with them. Again, can't get off to a slow start today, JP, and you got to meet the physical challenge because this is a team that whipped up on the Rams on both lines of scrimmage on Monday Night Football. They realize they can't afford many more losses. This is a game they have to have. I think if you're counting on a short week, an early kickoff window as throwing San Fran off their game, it's going to take a lot more than that for the Jags to come out victorious today.
Game day weather presented by roofclaim.com. Protection made simple. Earlier today, it kind of looked like San Francisco, in fact. A little fog coming in, hazy. Now it's 64 degrees. Still mostly cloudy, but the sun should come out. If not by kickoff, then fully by about 2 o'clock today. A high of 73 here in Jacksonville, about a 10-mile-an-hour wind out of the north. And should be a nice day for football in Week 11. Let's get to today's top stories, starting with the San Francisco offense led by Jimmy Garoppolo, but Samuel and Kittle to contend with as well. Head coach Urban Meyer on the Niners offense.
They don't hold the ball on offense, and they run the ball and have very good play action off it. A lot of eye candy where they're moving things around and checking you to make sure you're secure. The other thing, they picked 2 plays, like you saw that toss play, and they ran it 15 times, maybe 20 times in that game. So they find something, and obviously, I've met with our defense. That's what they do. They find something, keep going and going.
Yeah, as he mentioned, the eye candy there, some motion stuff, guys moving around, and kind of keeps you on your P's and Q's there.
Yeah, it's what Kyle Shanahan's known for, right? And some of it is to determine whether you're in man or zone, and some of it is to try to get you in an unfavorable, unbalanced position. And you know, as we talked about earlier, Debo Samuel, they'll line him up all over the place, trying to find the matchup. If you put personnel out there like he's a wide receiver, they'll treat him like a running back and vice versa as well. So he's one of the more versatile offensive skill players in the league right now. He's having a Pro Bowl caliber season. He is probably, it's always stopped the run, but in terms of the most explosive playmaker they have, Debo is that guy. So you got to make sure he doesn't, eat you alive all afternoon.
They also have, of course, George Kittle, the tight end, one of the best in football. Defensive coordinator for the Jags, Joe Cullen, and his group have their hands full today.
I know this, you can get 2 on him and he still splits. They move him around. They put him out at number 1. They put him at 3. Put him in the backfield. You got to play tight coverage on him and play inside of him, outside of him. He does a really good job at the catch point where he turns around and you're basically a little bit out of position. He positions well, like a basketball player. But the big thing he does, like when he catches the ball, he gets a lot of yards after contact. So you got to tackle him. You limit the yards after contact because he does as good a job as anybody after he catches the ball.
Yeah, Kittle and Samuel the same way there on the yards after catch, and that's really what makes this San Francisco offense hum. Let's move to the Jaguars offense now, and Trevor Lawrence facing off against the 49ers defense today. What does he see?
They play mostly zone. They do a great job of keeping the ball in front of them. They got some really good pass rushers, obviously, and then Fred Warner kind of leads them, the linebacker group and really the back end too. They just do a good job. They keep the ball in front of them, do a good job reading the QB, and really supporting the run with extra guys outside of the box. Something that we just got to, be ready to handle. They have a few of them, but a guy like Nick Bosa up front, that always adds a challenge just because the pass rush is gonna be quick. Just a great player. It's hard to block a guy like that. But we got a great group up front, so I'm not worried. But that's just always something that you're ready for when you're playing a guy like that.
Yeah, Nick Bosa up front really starts this thing. One of the best pass rushers in the NFL right now. Can get home. Urban Meyer knows him well. Played for him at Ohio State, as did his brother. But this is where it starts. You got to find out where he is every snap.
No question. If you can't block him, you're not going to have much of a chance at all. So you got to start with Nick Bosa and make sure that he doesn't wreck your game plan. But as Trevor Lawrence pointed out, Fred Warner is one of the better inside linebackers in the league. In the next level of defense, Jimmy Ward playing at a high level right now, coming off a 2-interception game, including a pick six in the secondary. So at every level, they have playmakers. But it obviously starts with Bosa up front, much like it does with the Jaguars and Josh Allen. That's job one when you're playing this Jaguar defense. They came into the league at the same time. They'll be compared to each other continually going forward here. But let's make Josh Allen the better pick today coming out of that draft, and hopefully Nick Bosa has a quiet afternoon.
Trevor Lawrence's numbers have come down the last few weeks offensively, and coordinator Darrell Bevel on where Lawrence's confidence stands.
I think he's fine. I mean, the guy is one, confident in his ability. He's confident in the guys that are around him, and it's really the struggles that we're having on offense is not one person. It's all of us, and all of us will get it fixed together. Starting with me. That's the first thing I told the guys on when they came in here on Monday. That it starts with me. Got to help them, and then they got to help themselves as well. And we got to work together.
Yeah, helping themselves as well is the key part of that. The Jags wide receivers need to catch the football, and Jamal Agnew says it's a simple fix.
We coach a lot. Eyes to the tuck. It's a lot of guys, including myself, not finishing the whole play. We work on that every day in practice. It just comes down to concentration and focus. Something that can be easily fixed by just, locking in more through the catch. But that's something we're, super concerned about because it's an easy fix.
18 drops, according to some metrics this year?
Listen, I don't care what the number is. I don't want to hear this easy fix nonsense, all right? I've heard this for years with the Jags when they've been struggling on something. Oh, it's an easy fix. We're not getting our fits right. We're not doing that. Then if it's so easy, why isn't it fixed? Why would you wait until after half of the season is gone to fix it? If it's that easy to fix, I don't buy that it's so. If either that, or if it is that easy to fix and it continues to plague the Jaguars, then what's going on with the pass catchers on this team? So it's one or the other. Either it's not easy to fix, and that's just a bunch of malarkey, or it is easy to fix, which begs the question of why it's still happening on and on. I mean, they've been plagued with drops this year, JP. 18 is the official number. Some people think it's way more than that. It depends on, how you measure a drop, but I hated that soundbite when I heard it this week, and I still don't like it.
Today's game,
sorry,
it's what it is. Who didn't drop the ball yesterday? Ohio State receivers, by the way.
No, they did not.
Just saying.
Somebody's been looking at them too, I hear.
Apparently so. Today's game is presented by Renewal by Anderson, official replacement window and door partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A better way to a better window. For more information, visit online at rbafla.com. Bucky Brooks doesn't drop the ball. NFL Network analyst joining us now from Los Angeles, California. Bucky, do you have us today?
I do have you today. Did you have me?
We've got you clearly. Yes, that's a victory.
Oh, that's a win in itself.
Yes, it is.
Win in itself.
One out of three ain't bad.
You never dropped the ball, Buck, did you?
Oh, I absolutely dropped the ball. That's why I played defense. I mean, I couldn't catch it all the time. And so I understand when Jamal Agnew, those guys talk about an easy fix. No, it's not an easy fix.
Thank you.
And so they need to be able to catch the ball. And typically what happens is guys who have struggled catching the ball throughout their careers continue to struggle catching the ball. So if we go all the way back and look at the history, were these guys high volume drop guys when we evaluated them coming out of college and throughout their NFL careers? Because if you know that, then you have a level of tolerance where you just know that's part of what they do. That's part of their game. But Yeah, they got to get it fixed. You don't wait halfway during the year to say, oh, you know what, we should tighten up and catch the ball, and then when it's thrown our way. I think a little bit of that has to do with a talent issue or a lack thereof.
Now, Bucky, we don't question the talent of Trevor Lawrence, but certainly his play's got to be better as well. What have you seen from him in recent weeks?
Look, man, it's really so hard to evaluate the quarterback, right? Because here's what I would say. Let's swap Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence and put them in different offenses and just wonder what Trevor Lawrence would look like in New England's offense, where they're only throwing 5-yard passes and asking Mac Jones to throw out routes, running back screens, and checkdowns. His completion percentage would go up. He would look different. He would have a lot of success instead of the high degree of difficulty that the Jaguars are asking Trevor Lawrence to execute each and every week. He's a young player. He's going to have some difficulties when it comes to the transition, but they certainly have not helped him ease into the National Football League by giving him easy throws or surrounding him with high-level talent. So he could play better, but I think before we can even take him to task, are we sure that he's having the best plan to succeed each and every week? I would say no.
Bucky Brooks with us, NFL Network analyst. The Jags and the 49ers coming up in Week 11. And James Robinson last week, you could tell, was kind of limited, admitted it this week. Yeah, it just kind of is there, and the heel and now a knee issue with it. You know, at some point, the rest, I think, is going to be the ultimate thing that gets him right again. But it sounds like he's going to give it a go again today. What can you expect from James Robinson?
I mean, a lot of what you expected last week. If he's hurt, man, it's hard to play through the injuries. And even though our expectations are that he's going to be the James Robinson of old and that he's going to be able to put it on the back, he's not going to be able to. He's limited. He'd go out there and give a gutsy performance and those things, but I don't think you can count on him. So it's the people behind him, Carlos Hyde and others, who have to step up and provide the Jaguars some semblance of a running game. This cannot be a Trevor Lawrence throw the ball 35 to 40 times and expect the Jaguars to win. They have to be able to run it and control the tempo by being able to run the football between the tackles and kind of dictate the terms. If they're not able to do that, man, all the advantages go to the 49ers because we know they're going to run the football. And I don't know if we're going to be able to stop it enough to be able to kind of get the game on our terms. And so this is one where the Jaguars offense has to be an equal contributor to the effort because this can't be one that we're depending on the defense to do everything. The Niners on offense are too good when they're playing the right way.
Well, so are the Bills, though, Bucky. And let's give credit. You know, the Jaguars defense has been exceptional 7 of the last 8 quarters, right? But that one quarter was the first quarter last week against Indianapolis, which put them in a hole in the special teams as well. So how do you avoid the slow start today that you had last week if you're the Jaguar defense?
Well, the two different scenarios. The Buffalo Bills can't run the ball. They don't want to run it. They want to throw it. So the Jags didn't necessarily have to worry about defending the run. Against the Colts, when the Colts ran it when they want to run it, the Jaguars couldn't necessarily stop it. I think the big thing to slow down, you got to make sure that you're on it because the 49ers want to run the ball early and often to kind of set the table for the rest of their passing game. So this requires a load in the box. You have to make Jimmy Garoppolo be the one that beats you. So I don't care how many people you put at the line of scrimmage, you have to dare Jimmy Garoppolo to make enough plays in the passing game to beat you. That is the only way to slow down the 49ers. It has to be on the quarterback as opposed to the running game, and he can't throw comfortably off play action. That's how you that's how you get him off to a slower start. Stop the run early, make Jimmy G make some plays.
Bucky Brooks with us. Is the San Francisco 49ers team a playoff team?
When they play the right way and they do the right things and Kyle Shanahan is in his bag and not try to be too cute, yes. They don't have the pieces that they had a couple seasons ago, but they do have a recipe that can be very, very difficult and challenging. When they run the football and they give the ball to Devo Samuel in a variety of different ways, they have enough talent to do it. George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, they have some weapons. And so it's a tough team. It's a tough team to match up with and deal with. And so you can't get them rolling because this is a team that has very fragile confidence, meaning the 49ers. If you allow them to have good things early, well, then you get the best of the Niners. If they struggle a little bit, then the woe is me, the loser mentality can creep in. So they can be a playoff team if they play the right way and they have good things happen to them early, yes.
Bucky, this week a lot of people have pointed to the fact that the Niners had an emotional win against a division rival. Monday Night Football, it's a short week, and it's an early body clock kickoff. It's 10 a.m. on the West Coast, right? So all those things, does all that matter at the end of the day, or how much does it matter?
No, it matters. I would expect them to be a little lethargic at the beginning. So if I'm the Jaguars, this is when I think early in the game, you try and do something to jumpstart the team. And it can be anything from an onside kick, a trick play, a reverse, something to kind of get everyone started and kind of put the Niners on their heels. Maybe it's going no huddle, quick tempo, 2-minute offense. It's real. Very emotional game, cross-country travel, early kickoff. All those things play in the Jaguars' favor. You're also playing a team from the 49ers standpoint. How good is this team? Do we really get up? It's going to be hard for them to bring their energy like they brought last Monday. This is a great opportunity for the Jaguars to hit them in the mouth early.
Philly special. Trevor Lawrence touchdown reception. Come on, bring it. I like that.
Something. Bring it. Hey, bring it. You just sat there and you saw Ohio State blitzkrieg Michigan State. That's how the Jaguars need to come out. That first quarter, those first 15, go at them and see if you can put them in a hole. Make them play from behind and chase points as opposed to it being an even-Steven game.
I'm going to like our chances if we get up 49-0.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, 49 zip. That's a pretty good start, I would say, if the Jags could do that today. Bucky, have a good one. We'll talk to you in the scoreboard show.
Hey, hopefully after the win, let's go get it.
Let's get it indeed. That's Bucky Brooks, NFL Network analyst. We'll return with first rounds on us. We'll head to the broadcast booth for the first time today and get our weekly visit with our resident first-round picks, Jags analysts Jeff Lageman and Tony Baselli. The 49ers and the Jaguars tee it up today at 1 o'clock in Week 11. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Some things make a house your home. Like endless hot water that makes the tranquility from an everyday shower your thing. When heating water with natural gas, you have hot water when you need it, save money, and earn a rebate up to $675. Your home, our safe, reliable, efficient energy. Love natural gas. Find rebate details at peoplesgas.com.
Hey Jags fans, heading to TIAA Bank for a game? Take advantage of Jags Pay and keep your stadium transactions touch-free. Jags Pay is an all-new partnership between the Jaguars and Tap It to give our fans a contactless payment option for all concessions and merchandise. It's fast, safe, and easy to use. Just download the official Jaguars app on any mobile device, tap Jags Pay, and set up your secure payment method. You're all set. To learn more, visit jaguars.com/JagsPay. See you at the bank.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Enjoy fall savings going on right now at Renewal by Andersen. Save 20% on replacement windows, patio doors, and installation. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. Designed to withstand the harshest weather environments. Find out more at rbafla.com. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, the official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CGC 1527613.
Move day is on the 20, the 10. Yes, another successful move to a new home. I tell you, folks, I've never seen a team more prepared than the Move Day crew. With a dominating lead in training, trust, and moving efficiency, it's no wonder why Move Day is the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Track your goods online and get updated play-by-plays throughout your move process. While the Jags are moving the chains on game day, they're here to help you on moving day. Call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit MoveDayMovers.com.
From TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, this is the Publix Tailgate Show. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. It's Week 11. The San Francisco 49ers at 4-5. The Jacksonville Jaguars at 2-7. The Jags defense has only 5 takeaways this year. That is the fewest in the National Football League. And the Jags trying to get something going off Jimmy Garoppolo, the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Over the last 3 weeks, he's only given it away one time. They have a 2-1 record in that span. His passer rating in the previous 3 games before that was in just over 77. He's near 110 in the last 3 weeks. Of course, not turning over the football. Time now for First Rounds on Us.
New York Jets, first-round choice, Jeff Lageman.
Jacksonville Jaguars have selected tackle Southern California, Tony Baselli.
We head up to the broadcast booth here at TIAA Bank Field for the first time today and say good morning to Jeff Lageman and Tony Baselli. Good morning.
Good morning, JP.
What's happening, JP? Well, ready for some football today. The Jags get the 49ers here for the first time since 2005. That's a long time ago, of course. So, the Jags defense playing a little better lately. Offense still needs to get something consistently going. This is the San Francisco team, guys, that on Monday night made a statement with another win over the Rams. They seem to have their number over the years. They're in the division, obviously. What's your gut today, just going into this one?
Well, my gut is that they brought the San Francisco weather with them. I mean, is this not a San Francisco day here? Kind of overcast, misty, foggy, gray, kind of cool day. I mean, this is probably making them feel like they haven't even left San Francisco.
Well, and everyone, you talk about bringing San Francisco weather here. A lot has been made this week about the long trip. A 1 o'clock kickoff, which is going to be 11 a.m. in 10 a.m. in San Francisco. But the bottom line, Jeff, is that the San Francisco 49ers are good on the road. 3-1 this year. Since 2019, they are 15-5, which is the 4th best record in the NFL. So these guys are comfortable playing on the road, but it'll be interesting to see how they handle the early kickoff.
Yeah, because everybody in San Francisco and the media is calling it a trap game because it is a short week. You got to travel to the East Coast, and the perception of the Jaguars is that they're not very good. I mean, and so we'll see what happens. But they always play well against the Rams, and what they were able to do, the Rams impressed the heck out of me because they came out and played a physical brand of football. And that's the kind of football that propelled the 49ers after the 19 season to the Super Bowl. That's exactly the style that they play. Now, can they do that against the Jaguars defense that's playing pretty well against the run, playing pretty well against the pass recently? I think it's a great test and certainly will help the Jaguars defense that if the 49ers running back, Elijah Mitchell, doesn't play because he's had a finger issue that he had surgery on this week.
Well, but Debo Samuel is really the one you got to worry about because he is a good player. You look at what he's doing in the passing game. Second best season in San Francisco history at this point, only to Jerry Rice, averaging 109 yards per game catching the ball. Jerry Rice has the record in San Francisco at 115. But it's not just the passing game. He lined up at tailback last week.
And he looked like a tailback.
And he's a downhill physical runner. And what impressed me, Jeff, you called it out. I thought that 49er team was super physical in the run game. And for an offensive lineman, it's one of the most fun run games to watch because they do so much. It's really a lot of the same plays with different motions and everything else.
They dress it up,
but it's downhill. And what you will not – the San Francisco 49ers will be successful, or they're having success, Jeff, when they have almost zero drop-back passing. Mm-hmm. Everything's play-action pass. Everything's off the run motion. They're moving the pocket. And they are just a physical football team that comes downhill at you.
Yeah, they've got 2 elite players on offense. When I say elite, you got to be top 5 at your position.
Agreed.
Okay, Debo Samuel is an elite player at wide receiver, and he also can play running back, as we saw from Monday night. George Kittle is another elite player.
Well, you're missing one more.
And the left tackle is the best left tackle offensive lineman in football this year by far.
That's right.
And that's going to be a great challenge. And I know that Josh Allen talked about how he's excited to play against the elite player that Trent Williams is. And Antonio, you played the position, watched it, and I can tell you this: when I watched him this week, as a former defensive end, I always kind of watch the film and go, I wonder how I'm going to beat this guy. After watching him, I don't have a clue if I was going to play against him. He's that good.
Well, and the reality is it's a great offense to play an offensive line in when you get it going. And I was watching him too, Jeff. He's just physical, and he's actually a guy who can handle the drop back straight pass rush. I mean, he's that good. But you don't have to that much.
No.
And you can be so physical, and it's so much fun because you can get after guys, and it takes the pass rush out of them.
And you know what I love about him is that he just got a new contract. Okay, this past offseason, it was for 6 years, $138 million with $55.1 million guaranteed. And you think that maybe he would take a little slow down step and not be as good?
No, he's better.
He's putting his pedal to the metal, JP and Mike, and this guy's better than he's ever been.
All right, guys, so that's a lot of what San Fran wants to do offensively. For the Jags today, how important is it to get James Robinson going, not only for their own offense, but to slow down a little bit on Nick Bosa and not let him get in favorable down and distance pass rush situations?
Well, if you look at the last 3 games for this offense, which has been when J-Rob hasn't been completely healthy, hasn't been completely available, it's been Trevor Lawrence's worst 3 games. And so that ought to be the answer right there. They need James Robinson to play well because Trevor Lawrence is in a little bit of funk. Here's the numbers. In the last 3 games, the offense has only scored 33 points. Trevor Lawrence didn't have a game where he completed over 60%. He has been under 5 yards an attempt in every game, and he has been less than a 70 rating in all 3 of those games.
Well,
that's not good.
Yeah, and Jeff, you go back to probably the high point for Trevor Lawrence as far as how he played, and that was week 4 in the Thursday night game against Cincinnati, where he completed 70%, almost 71% of his passes. Since that game, so over the last 6 weeks, his completion percentage has gone down every single week into a low point at 45, just over 45% last week. And so I think a lot of it has to do with James Robinson and the lack of a run game. I also think watching the tape and watching it live, Jeff, I think he's losing a little bit of confidence in his guys and letting it go and is hesitant, which is hurting his accuracy and the timing of the offense.
I thought last week, and I didn't think this would happen because, Tony, and you and I and everybody, JP, Mike, we all were sitting there raving about his pocket presence and his ability to keep his eyes down the field. And last week I thought that was different. The pocket presence wasn't as good. I saw his eyes drop a couple times, and that goes to a lack of confidence. And that's not a good thing to see because you want to see the progression moving forward. And, and I have no idea if this is going to impact it at all, but we saw a Thursday night game with the quarterback in New England, who is a local guy. Does that add pressure onto Trevor Lawrence? Does he add more pressure onto himself, saying, "Hey, look, I'm a first overall pick. I need to play better," and seeing what Mac Jones did on Thursday night? Does that maybe make him press a little bit in today's game? I don't know. I hope not. But I want to see Trevor Lawrence get back to being the arrow pointing up Trevor Lawrence.
All right, guys, time for UF Health Finding Solutions. Visit ufhealthjacks.org/game plan. Well, defending George Kittle is the question we've got for you today. Kittle with 11 receptions, 151 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns since coming back from a calf injury in Week 9. He missed a handful of weeks earlier in the season. Touchdowns in Weeks 9 and 10, back-to-back games for the first time in his career. How do you defend him today?
Well, I think the other thing, JP, that you didn't mention, which might be his greatest characteristic, is his run blocking. I mean, he is a dominant run blocker. In my opinion, he's the most complete tight end in the NFL.
By far.
When it comes to blocking and receiving. He's not the best receiving tight end, but he is the best blocking tight end. He reminds me of Gronk at his height, where he is a threat in the pass game, where he's really a tough matchup one-on-one, and he actually can dominate a defensive end. And you're right. He's been really good the last 2 weeks coming back from an injury. He had a slow start to the season. In the first 4 games, only 19 catches, 0 touchdowns. And so I don't think you can match up and play man-to-man, which the Jags aren't playing much man anymore with the safety with him because he's too big and strong and he'll run away from linebackers. So you just have to have awareness of where he's on the field. But I'll tell you one thing. Don't fall asleep because if he lines up on you and you're the defensive end, you better bring your lunch pail because he's coming at you.
Yeah, and that's what makes him a true matchup problem. is because, for example, the young tight end in Atlanta, Pitts, great tight end, great athleticism.
Not going to beat you.
Down the field,
You almost would treat him like a receiver.
Yeah, exactly. You would treat him like a true receiver. You'd put a cornerback on him because you're not fearful of what he's going to do as a blocker. With George Kittle, he creates the matchup problems for defensive coordinators because he can block as good as any tight end in the league. Well, maybe with the exception of maybe Mercedes Lewis when he was in his prime.
But he's like an offensive lineman at the line of scrimmage.
And then he can run away from guys in as a receiver. So that's where the tough matchup is really with George Kittle because he's so good at doing both.
Well, that's UF Health finding solutions. I don't know if we found any. Visit ufhealthjax.org/game plan.
Here's a solution for the offense. Maybe not a solution, but at least something they need to have happen. Dan Arnold's caught 11 of 15 targets the last 2 weeks, guys. How many times would you throw him the football today?
10. 10. I try to find some creative ways. I would like to have 10 targets. Right now, he's arguably their best receiver. And he's really good once the ball gets in his hands as far as making something happen. Look, he's not Debo Samuel. I'm not trying to say that he is. But at least he does things athletically once the ball's in his possession, and I like him. And obviously Trevor Lawrence has a real comfort level with him, and you have a quarterback that right now is not playing well, so give him as many opportunities to throw the ball to a guy that he has confidence in.
Amen. I can't say it any better. Just feed the rock to Dan Arnold. He's your best matchup issue for an opposing defense. You could say, obviously, Jamal Agnew can run, but we've seen him struggle down the field, on the deep pass of, tracking in and catching the ball. He's very good underneath, and you got to get him involved in the offense because of his speed. But this league's about matchups a lot of time. We just talked about George Kittle. And Dan Arnold, give him credit. Give Trent Baalke credit going to get him because he's a legitimate matchup issue for a linebacker when they try to play man on him.
There you have it. Today's game is presented by Renewal by Anderson, official replacement window and door partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A better way to a better window. For more information, visit online at rbafla.com. We'll return with inactives and Week 11 fantasy picks. The Niners and the Jaguars tee it up at 1 o'clock. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Want to see the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans on the road? Here's your chance. Revente Cognac and the Jaguars are teaming up to send one lucky fan and a guest from Duval to Nashville for the big game. Enter now at jaguars.com/Revente Trip for your chance to win round-trip flights, lodging, and game tickets courtesy of Revente Cognac. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or older to enter. Hiring qualified veterans and helping veterans grow their businesses isn't just the right thing to do, it's also good business. Fiserv Salutes provides the military community with career opportunities, education resources, and business solutions for veteran-owned businesses, including free processing on Independence and Veterans holidays. To find out how Fiserv helps veteran-owned businesses and their career opportunities, visit Fiserv.com and follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Fiserv, an official military partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Introducing Ultimate Jags, the free-to-play next-level fantasy football game. Open packs, collect players, build your roster, and pick your weekly lineup. Scratch and claw your way up the leaderboard and compete against Jags fans for fantastic prizes. Download Ultimate Jags now from the App Store and Google Play and get ready to win.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by FDOT.
You say there's nothing quite like the feel of the open road when you ride a motorcycle. You know it takes concentration, knowledge, and skills beyond those required to drive a car. Ride Smart Florida would like to take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy the road, but to always ride smart. S-M-A-R-T. Say no to drinking and riding. Make yourself more visible to motorists. Always wear your helmet. Ride in control. Train regularly and get endorsed. Visit RideSmartFlorida.com for more details. Do you ride smart? This message is provided by the Florida Department of Transportation. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Publix Tailgate Show continues ahead of Week 11. The 49ers and Jaguars at 1 o'clock today. Well, we mentioned it, George Kittle, since coming back from that calf injury, 11 receptions, 151 yards, couple of touchdowns. He will be active for the 49ers today, of course. Let's get to the inactives for the Jacksonville Jaguars. First of all, today, though, Devino Zigbo, running back, down today. Trey Herndon, a corner, is out. Dakota Allen, linebacker, nicked last week, will not play today. Jacob Hollister, a tight end, inactive. Jordan Smith has not seen the field yet as a rookie. Defensive end and outside linebacker inactive today. Wide receiver John Brown elevated from the practice squad and available for the Jaguars today. Smokey
Brown
might get his first chance with the Jags today.
Two-time 1,000-yard receiver in the NFL, so he's done it. He's always been a high yards per catch guy because he can run, and the Jags need that desperately. Only 4 official inactives for the 49ers today. A pair of running backs, Elijah Mitchell. He was doubtful, expected to not be able to play with a broken finger. JaMychal Hasty had already been ruled out as well. Defensive tackle Maurice Hurst will miss the game, as will offensive lineman Colton McKivitz for the Niners.
There you have it. The inactives are in. Time now for the Fantasy Outlook and my quest for a wire-to-wire championship. Mike, what
all
you
right.
got?
Well, here's the update, JP. Your quest tightened up a little bit, but you're still holding firm in first place overall. Last week's totals, I was able to take it down with a total of 68 points, despite only 15 out of Tom Brady. Christian McCaffrey and CeeDee Lamb came through for me last week. Second place on the week was Tony Baselli with 53. Then it was JP with 47. Jeff Lageman had 38, and Frank Frangie with 37 points.
Dang it.
Only got 2 out of A.J. Brown last week.
2
Frank.
points. Yeah, I know.
That was the one that hurt. JP overall 566. I'm now 1 point ahead of Jeff in second, 517 to 516. Tony at 475 and Frank at 446 is where things stand.
So we're pulling away from you, Frankie.
A little bit of separation there.
You know, I'm comfortable down here. Been here before, just so you know. I've kind of ended up here before, just so you know.
Well, Frank, you'll have the first pick followed by Jeff, then JP, Tony, and myself. So, Mr. Frangie, you're on the clock.
Dak Prescott, please.
Dak, no hesitation.
No hesitation.
Wow. Whatsoever.
Don't pull a hammy.
Wow. Give me Dak Prescott.
Very authoritative. When you're where I am, you go hard. That's what you do, boys.
Understand. All right, Jeff.
I'll take McCaffrey.
All right, CMC off the board. JP.
Give me A.J. Dillon.
A.J. Dillon, wise play there. I like the way you're thinking.
Thank you.
Tony Baselli.
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill. All right. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow at quarterback, and I'm going to go with Jamar Chase at wide receiver. And I'm going to pass it back to Tony.
A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown, okay.
Hope he gets 2 more points.
Going with the hook up there. I hope he gets 1, Frank. JP, quarterback or a pass catcher?
I'm going to go Justin Jefferson.
All right, Jefferson against the Pack. Jeff?
I will take CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb. Reminder to folks, we can only use each player we select one time all year, so this is it. Frank, you've got Dak, and you're going to running back at a pass catcher.
Dalvin Cook.
Okay.
And Chris Godwin.
And Godwin it is. All right, quarterback for you, Jeff.
How about Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers. All right, same thing, JP.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Tony, your running back?
I'm going to go James Conner.
James Conner. And I will go with Nick Chubb I was the last one who hadn't used them. So here's what we have. Frank Frangie goes with Dak Prescott, Dalvin Cook, and Chris Godwin. Jeff Lageman has Aaron Rodgers, Christian McCaffrey, and CeeDee Lamb. JP Shadrick with Jalen Hurts, A.J. Dillon, and Justin Jefferson. Tony Baselli goes Ryan Tannehill, James Conner, and A.J. Brown. And I've got Joe Burrow, Nick Chubb, and Jamar Chase. And good luck to everybody.
Everybody confident this week?
No, totally not confident.
Not at all. Tony?
I feel good.
I think the gap tightens at the top this week.
You think so?
I think you'll still be in first place. You got about a 49-point lead there, but I think it tightens up.
I might take the lead this week.
Wow.
Tony's going to have a massive
So there's that.
Is that a lock?
week.
Is that a lock?
No lock.
No lock on that one. All right, guys. We'll talk to you a little
Good
bit
luck,
later.
guys.
PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. We visit longer with play-by-play man Frank Frangie up in the broadcast booth as the Jaguars return home to the bank to host the San Francisco 49ers. These teams don't get together that often. The last time it happened was 2017 on Christmas Eve out in Santa Clara. The last time in this stadium, 2005. That's a long time ago, Frank.
You know, JP, I heard Tony talking with you guys earlier about how when the 49ers are going well, there's not a lot of dropbacks. They move the pocket. They run the ball. I remember so clearly the 17 game because the Jags had a really good defense, as we all know. But, boy, they were flustered by that San Francisco offense. Garoppolo was never in the pocket. You guys remember all the naked boots he ran that day? It seemed like every play was that, and I've still remembered that and still remember that. So, yeah, I think it's cool when a heritage team comes in here, when the Cowboys or the Packers or the Steelers or whoever come in, and I think the 49ers in that category. So I think it's a fun day today. The last time we played here, we won. But I worry about how Kyle Shanahan will attack on the ground and move the quarterback, and that's a big part of the game today, JP.
Yeah, and I worry, Frank, about things like Kyle Juszczyk, kind of sneaking out of the backfield and making plays. You focus so much on the tailbacks here, Kittle and Debo Samuel, and Shanahan's always had a few of those, I wouldn't call them trick plays, but just kind of like off-schedule guys that he has in the red zone. Is this something you worry about for the Jaguar defense today?
Great point about Kyle Juszczyk, Mike, because a lot of teams don't play fullbacks. He's a real fullback, and he's an old-school throwback real fullback, and because a lot of teams don't play that, younger players haven't practiced a lot against that. I think you're exactly right. I think that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to see them dump the ball to him in the left and right flat. I think you're going to see Garoppolo out of the pocket. I don't think you're going to see a lot of balls down the field, Mike. They're going to use Debo Samuel on jet sweeps and little hitches, and that's how they play. And your point about Juszczyk is a very good one because that's not something NFL teams see very often, and certainly this team hasn't seen it. I don't think we've seen it at all this year.
Frank Frangie with us. Jaguars defense against the run this year. We've talked about it throughout. I mean, they've that was priority number one in the offseason, and they've only had a couple of instances this year where they've let the big running back kind of get loose for some yardage. For the most part, though, they've been able to handle it. This one has a different feel today. I know the 49ers have had some injuries, some things, but this is a group that wants to go pound you, and it's almost a Tennessee-type feel today.
You know what? It is, but I like how they've played against this group. The front seven guys are starting to play, JP. I think Damian Wilson's playing the best football of his career. He's really, really hitting people in the mouth. Miles Jack is having another terrific year. The last 2 or 3 games have been very good. And look, what's not talked about enough is Taven Bryan starting to play a little bit. It took a while to wait on him. Let's hope that continues. Roy Robertson-Harris has played okay. I think they're playing okay up front. So I think they're more geared to play the run than they've been all along. Now the question is, when you stack the front, can you cover? But, yeah, this is a good matchup. Your point's a good one. That's how San Francisco plays. And Jacksonville's become a team that defends that well. So that's one of the best matchups of the game today. I really think that.
All right, so all these things, Frank, let's say the Jags don't let San Fran go crazy and they limit them to about 20 points today. Can the Jags score enough to make this a football game?
Well, that's the question, Mike. The question, the passing offense really hasn't been good of late, whether that's because Trevor's hit a wall, whether that's because nobody's getting open, whether they're not finding him enough easy throws, which is kind of my thing, Mike. I think you got to find these guys that complete a bunch of passes in a row. If a guy completes 10, 12 in a row, which you see from time to time in the league, that means they drew up some easy ones, some hitches, some checkdowns, some short crossers. I think we need more of that. But I don't know. To your question, it's a great one. Right now, the passing offense hasn't been very good, and it's naive to say it's been anything but that. If that happens, because they've run the ball okay, if the passing offense flashes today, I think they're going to win the game. I think that's how important it is. Can they score enough? I don't know, Mike. We'll find out.
Everybody's asking about Trevor's confidence. I got to say, Frank, I'm okay. Trevor's going to be fine in this thing in the long run. He needs some help, and he needs some guys to make plays around him, but just his tone and the way he at least presents his confidence, I think Trevor's going to be okay in the long run no matter what happens.
Yeah, I do too, JP. I think that's that. If there's one thing I don't worry about is his mental, psychological makeup. I mean, he's human. Yeah, you have some bad games. You want to play better. But if that's one thing, of all the things everybody's talking about, bro, that's the one thing I don't worry about. I want him to play a little better. Hasn't played as well of late. I want them to help him play better. But as far as is he going to get scarred or is it going to beat him down, not a chance in the world, JP. You are dead on. This guy is grounded and focused. And he's for a guy that hasn't been in the National Football League, we've had this conversation before. This guy had all the expectations as a ninth grader, man. He's had all the expectations as a freshman in college and turned around and won a national championship. Nothing's going to rattle this guy. He needs to play better. They need to play better, but he's not going to be rattled. Not a chance in the world.
Baseball scouts call it makeup. What is the makeup of a player?
That's right.
And that's everything kind of off the field and everything that goes with it. It's off the charts with Trevor. Have a great call today, Frank. Enjoy it.
Okay, boys. Thank you.
All right, Frangie out of here. And up next in the Publix Tailgate Show, we'll visit with the Ozone. Jaguars.com senior writer John Ozier joins us from upstairs. We'll get his final thoughts ahead of this Week 11 matchup. Jaguars Radio Network coverage begins at noon with countdown to kickoff. We're a little over an hour away from the 49ers and the Jaguars from TIAA Bank Field. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Jags fans, did you know you can ride your bike to every Jaguars home game at TIAA Bank Field in Valley Park It for free? That's right. Stop by our bicycle check-in tent sponsored by Alert Today Florida near Gate 1 at TIAA Bank Field. An on-duty ZenCog bike professional will park your bike and ensure it's secure during the game. When the game is over, return your claim ticket to pick up your bike. For cycling safety tips, visit alerttodayflorida.com. Remember, Alert Today, alive tomorrow, because safety doesn't happen by accident.
Ready to take the next step toward the ultimate you. Dr. Patrick Basil, official plastic surgeon of the Jacksonville Jaguars, presents the Ultimate You Sweepstakes. Enter for a chance to win a cool sculpting treatment package valued at $4,500, plus a Jaguars performance training session. Receive your free customized treatment in a relaxed, modern, patient-centered environment. Learn more and enter the sweepstakes at jaguars.com/ultimateyou or call 904-222-6262. Terms and conditions apply. No purchase necessary.
Fans like you have been told that going all out is going too far. But fans like you know better. You're the kind of fan who loves the team as much as your pet, who paints yourself for game days and dyes your pet's fur to match. You are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and diehard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. The official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
What do the players and coaches of the Jacksonville Jaguars have in common with your local tradesmen? Hard work, dedication, and passion to perfect their craft. Never giving up or surrendering until each minor detail is perfect. The J-Tech team are some of the biggest Jaguars fans you'll ever meet. If you're interested in a career in the trades, head over to jtech.org and learn more about what they offer.
Some things make a house your home. Like clean, fresh sheets that make a bed with the soothing scent of fabric softener your thing. When drying clothes with natural gas, you get faster, gentler drying times, save money, and earn a rebate up to $150. Your home. Our safe, reliable, efficient energy. Love natural gas. Find rebate details at peoplesgas.com.
Move day is on the 20, the 10. Yes, another successful move to a new home. I tell you, folks, I've never seen a team more prepared than the Move Day crew. With a dominating lead in training, trust, and moving efficiency, it's no wonder why Move Day is the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Track your goods online and get updated play-by-plays throughout your move process. While the Jags are moving the chains on game day, they're here to help you on moving day. Call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit MoveDayMovers.com.
Final moments of the Publix Tailgate Show. The 49ers and the Jaguars coming up in Week 11 at TIAA Bank Field. Jimmy Garoppolo triggering this Niners offense. Since Week 8, he has the best passer rating in the NFL. In the previous 3 games before that, he had 6 giveaways and a 77 rating. The last 3 games, 1 giveaway and nearly a 110 rating. A man with a perfect rating, nearly, is the Ozone.
This broadcast is ozone friendly. The Ozone.
It's Jaguars.com senior writer John Oehser joining us from the broadcast booth. And good morning to you, Johnny O.
JP, how are you guys? It's a perfect Jacksonville football day. So let's see if we can get a perfect Jacksonville football game.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, need that. Perfect. It's about what this team needs, though. With they haven't had that really yet. A perfect game. They're giving the ball away a little bit. Last week the late drive. The defense is playing better. They give up a special teams touchdown on a punt block last week. I mean, they just can't seem to get everybody together for a complete football game yet. How do you do that? You just got to go execute it, right?
Well, the three of us have talked so much, and after 10 weeks, you usually get a feel for a team. And I think you know what this team is when it plays well. It's a team that plays really good defense, meaning the Jaguars. They're very capable of it. No reason to think they'll stop doing that. It's becoming a trend. And, for the offense, I think a perfect game, JP, right now for the Jaguars is hold the opponent to 14-17, get a couple of drives, one in the first half, one in the second half, squeeze out a few field goals and win 23-17. I think they're capable of beating most teams in the league that way. As you said, you have to play really, really well and not make mistakes to win that way. JP, you and I talked, I think, on Wednesday. To me, this is a great opportunity for this Jaguars team. You feel like they're improving, and this is a 49ers team that if you beat them, it's a legitimate win. It's not a team that's quit. So all of a sudden, if you beat them, you've got 2 really good wins in the last 3 games and a good game against the Colts. You have a chance to show that you are what you think you are. And that's kind of cool in November, and not every struggling team gets that opportunity.
You do, John, and I think had the Niners lost that game on Monday night, people would be picking the Jags to win this week, in fact, because they'd be 3-6. But
Sure.
They showed up and maybe gave their best performance of the season. So we saw a very physical game plan from them on both lines of scrimmage. Everybody wants to be physical, but how important is it for the Jaguars to meet that test very early today and not fall behind like they did last week?
Well, I'll defer a little to Bucky Brooks, who's on our Huddle Up podcast on Wednesday, because he noted this, and I started thinking about it more and more. Maybe the most physical game the Jaguars will play this year because of not just the lines play hard for the 49ers, but everybody plays physical. So the Jaguars believe they're a physical team. As you said, Mike, everybody sort of believes they play that way. The Jaguars legitimately believe they play that way, especially on defense. And this is a chance to prove it. This defense has shown really good things the last 2 or 3 weeks. If you come out and out-physical the 49ers, I think you walk out of this game believing, again, a chance to believe or a chance for them to prove that they are what they've shown the last couple of weeks.
John Oehser with us, Jaguars.com senior writer from the broadcast booth here at TIAA Bank Field. A lot of conversation this week about Trevor Lawrence and his confidence level. The numbers have gone down the last few weeks with him. Where is he right now, in your opinion?
It's funny. There's some stories during the year, and we've all covered this team so long that you know what I'm talking about, that you analyze it and overanalyze it, and it's always the quarterback. Is he playing well? And you pick apart 35 passes, and there's 3 bad ones, and you're killing them for it. I think he's fine mentally. I don't think he's going to struggle mentally at all. I think his confidence will be okay. What you would love is to see the guys around to make a few more plays, give them a lift. It would be awesome. A 35-yard pass down the post open today where he hits it and all of a sudden he feels good about things. I don't know if that'll happen, but I think he'll be okay in the long run. You'd love to see some plays made for him to make him feel okay in the short run.
John, can John Brown do anything to help this team down the stretch? I mean, he's got more of a resume than most of the receivers on this roster, and he can still run, I believe. I know he's only been here for a couple weeks, but what do you think going forward?
Well, you hope so. I mean, they have swung and swung and swung at that position, hoping to find somebody. I can't tell you how he can run at this point. We're not at practice during that time. At some point, you hope you get somebody who can stretch and threaten. He'll be sort of this year's model. They couldn't do it with Tyron Johnson. They tried other guys and couldn't find it. You hope for a few weeks he can give you something to stretch it. I wish I had a better answer on how I thought he'd do. Odds are probably against with a veteran coming in at this stage of the season, but you never know.
John, how about James Robinson and the heel and the knee and everything going on around that? It's a different feel when he's not in there or not 100%, it feels like.
Well, it's dramatically different. It'll be interesting to see if he starts. It'll be interesting to see if they feel like he's ready. It seemed like he got better as the game went on, but still was not the same guy as he has been last week. You would think or hope that with a week more, they'd be further away from it. You worry today if you see sort of the same guy and not quite 100%, if with the heel it's going to linger for a while, which is very possible. So I think that's a big storyline to watch. But, yeah, no doubt, if they're going to be good offensively, meaning the 17, 20 points a game I'm talking about, they need him to be in it to create good situations. And without him, I don't know that they're a 20-point offense.
You know, John, in Denver, they have that big sign by the visitors' locker room that altitude sickness is real. We need one of those that jet lag is real.
Jet lag's real, baby. Yeah,
See?
I mean, and it is real. I mean, if you look at the history of it, teams do struggle doing that. Usually they struggle against teams that play pretty well, so the Jaguars still have to take advantage of that.
John, have a great day. We'll talk to you.
Guys, enjoy it. We'll see you.
John Oehser, Jaguars.com senior writer, joining us from the booth upstairs as the Jaguars get ready to host the San Francisco 49ers in Week 11. Opportunity today. The Falcons are here next week. You know, feels like they're kind of closer in spots, this Jags team, but just got to put an entire game together in all phases.
Yeah, close, it's better than not being close, I suppose. But, you got to get the W ultimately, and no moral victories here.
Yeah, no moral victories anymore. Got to go win some football games. A couple on the winning side this year so far. They've been close in some other ones, yes. But now time to try to finish another one off against a team that is competing for an NFC playoff berth at 4-5, and they come off a big win this past Monday night over the Los Angeles Rams. Really made a statement. They feel like they're right there in the mix because they are in the NFC wildcard chase. The Jaguars can wreck some of those plans with a nice win today over San Francisco. That's it for the Publix Tailgate Show. We'll come back with Jaguars Radio Network coverage. Countdown to kickoff. Plenty ahead as we count down to Week 11 in the National Football League. The San Francisco 49ers and the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up. And this has been the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.